Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
To the Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today. I'm Maurice Patton, and Justin, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay, awesome, because I can't hear myself in my ear. Justin and I are, I guess Justin and I aren't riding solo, but we are sans Chris Yao, kind of, sort of. He's a little bit out of pocket today. May make an appearance later, will make an appearance later, but at any rate, we are here to wrap up the week, take you into the weekend for the next couple of hours. Going to talk a little college football at the end of the show, a little NBA to start the show with our resident expert, Landon SECREST. Also going to catch up with Terry McCormick, as we do at the top of the 3 o'clock hour, with the Titans Insider update provided by Zen Sports. And we'll also have Ben Arthur of Fox Sports talking a little NFL. But in between, we are going to be joined by newly named FISK University Athletics Director Valencia Jordan as well. So looking forward to that. We've got a few folks we're going to hear from today, and again, looking forward to it, because somebody has to talk other than me, and since Chris isn't here, those are the options. So Justin, how's your Friday going?
Not bad, man. Not bad. Weather's nice. Makes me want to go out and golf, but the bank account is pushing back pretty hard on that. So
The way my account is set up, that's
exactly.
unfortunate. You need to get some maybe we can get some trade outs for you for some golf
That'd be
action.
nice. That'd be nice, man. I wish I could get into hiking and all that. I just can't.
Free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like disc golf, that's fun too, but just a little bit too much exercise. Happy medium.
We'll have to see what we can do about maybe getting you hooked
How about
up
you?
with some golf. So
How's your
um,
Friday going so far?
it's been hectic, man. I had to run over to Murfreesboro this morning for a little high school volleyball state tournament championship action that we will be touching on here in the rundown in a little bit. So yeah,
Nice.
I,
Already
I've I've
been all over
I've
the
been.
place.
Hmm?
Been all over the place already, huh?
I've been to Murfreesboro and back to the house already today. So yeah, and got high school football coming up tonight. So it's
Nice.
the weekend is getting off to a hectic start, but that's okay. That's what we do.
There you go.
So speaking of high school sports, we should probably at this time get into some scores, some schedules on the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty Bob Lamb and Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee. High school volleyball action from Thursday at the state tournament over in Murfreesboro. Sale Creek defeated Harpeth 3-0. East Robertson defeated Chattanooga Schools of Arts and Sciences 3-0. It was Loretto with a 3-2 win over East Robertson and Loretto with a 3-1 win over Harpeth. Houston defeated Brentwood in 5 games, 3-2. Loretto also had a 3-0 win over South Green. I think that was earlier in the day to open the day for the Lady Mustangs. Brentwood with a 3-1 win over East Hamilton. Cleveland defeated Nolensville 3-0. Nolensville then defeated Houston 3-1. Providence Christian with a 3-1 win over St. George's. It was Signal Mountain 3, Creekwood nothing. Valor Collegiate with 3 wins. Defeated Anderson County 3-1, Creekwood 3-1, and Volunteer 3-0. In girls soccer action Thursday night, it was Westview with a 2-1 win over Cheatham County. Fairview defeated McNary Central 4-3. Ravenwood with the upset, downing Franklin 2-1. It was Hendersonville 2, Gallatin nothing. Merrill High with a 9-0 win over Lead Academy. Oakland blanked Siegel 4-0, and it was Rossview 3, Clarksville nothing. In NCAA football on Thursday night, Rice with a 42-10 win over Tulsa, and James Madison defeated Marshall 20-9. Major League Baseball League Championship Series action. The Diamondbacks got on the board with a 2-1 walk-off victory over the Phillies. Philadelphia still leads that series 2-1. And the Astros with a 10-3 win over Texas tied the American League Series at 2-2. On the ice, it was the Predators 4, the host New York Rangers 1. Tonight's high school football schedule, all of these are 7 o'clock local starts. Smyrna is at Antioch. Montgomery Bell Academy travels to Baylor. Independence is at Brentwood. Ensworth is at Briarcrest. McGavock goes to Cane Ridge. Stewart County is at Cheatham County. Father Ryan travels to Christian Brothers. Rossview is at Clarksville. Nashville Christian goes to Clarksville Academy. Clarksville Northeast is at Clarksville Northwest. Lawson comes to Columbia. Green Hill takes on Cookville. Franklin Road Academy faces Christ Presbyterian Academy at CPA. Greenbrier is at Creekwood. Grace Christian of Franklin goes to Donaldson Christian. Richland is at Eagleville. Republic is at East Nashville. White House Heritage goes to East Robertson. Sycamore is at Fairview. Mount Juliet is at Franklin. Friendship Christian hosts Ezel Harding. Hillsborough goes to Glencliff. Davidson Academy is at Goodpasture. East Hickman is at Harpeth. Joe Burns goes to Houston County. Hunters Lane hosts Beach. Stratford travels to Overton. Kirkwood is at Kenwood. Stewart's Creek is at Laverne. Lawrence County takes on visiting Franklin County. Hendersonville goes to Lebanon. Maplewood is at Liberty Creek. Lipscomb Academy takes on visiting Brentwood Academy. Host Montgomery Central meets Station Camp. Columbia Academy goes to Mount Juliet Christian. Hickman County is at Mount Pleasant. Summit is at Nolensville. Centennial goes to Page. Pearl-Cone hosts White House. Chattanooga Christian is at Pope Prep. Middle Tennessee Christian plays Providence Christian. Does not say where. That's interesting. Oakland is at Blackwood. Oakland is at Ravenwood. Blackman is at Rockvale. Riverdale is at Siegel. Springfield hosts Gallatin. Spring Hill hosts Tullahoma. Lewis County goes to Summertown. Wilson Central is at Warren County. Macon County is at Watertown. Loretto is at Waverly. Webb School at Bell Buckle hosting Battleground Academy. Dixon County goes to West Creek. Portland is at Westmoreland. Marshall County is at Whites Creek. And Sacred Heart of Jesus is at Zion Christian. Again, all of those are 7 o'clock local kickoffs. High school volleyball state championship action today in Class A. Sale Creek, after 7 straight state tournament appearances coming up empty, finally got their first state championship in any sport with a 3-1 win over Loretto. We'll have coverage of that on Main Street Murray later today. Valor Collegiate and Signal Mountain are currently playing over at Siegel in the Class AA championship, and at 4 it's Nolensville and Cleveland. Girls soccer action tomorrow. These are all sectionals, I believe. Lipscomb Academy is at Baylor. University School of Jackson is at Battleground Academy. Cheatham County goes to Cascade. Franklin Road Academy goes out to ECS in Memphis. Chattanooga Christian is at Harpeth Hall. Franklin travels to Hendersonville. Houston hosts Clarksville over in West Tennessee. Pope Prep is at Hutchinson School. Ray County comes to Oakland. Gallatin is at Ravenwood. Collierville is at Rossview. And Siegel is at Walker Valley. College football action over the weekend, specifically tomorrow. Lincoln University of California plays at Tennessee State. That's a 2 o'clock start on ESPN+. At 2:30 on CBS, it's Tennessee at Alabama. And at 7 o'clock on ESPN+, it's Austin Peay and Southern Utah in Utah. Major League Baseball action tonight. It's Game 5 of the Astros and Rangers in Arlington. That's a 4 o'clock start on FS1. That's followed at 7:07 on TBS by the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. That's Game 4 of that series in Arizona. Game 5 is Saturday at 7:07, also on TBS. On the ice, San Jose comes to Bridgestone for a 7 o'clock puck drop tomorrow. That game can be seen on Bally Sports South. Tonight on Bally Sports South at 7, you can catch the Grizzlies at Milwaukee in NBA preseason action. And on the pitch, the New York Red Bulls are at Geodis Park against the Nashville Soccer Club. That's a 5 o'clock first touch. And that is your rundown. Top story today brought to you by Piggly Wiggly out in Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and check them out for your meat and 3 lunches, as well as fresh hand-cut meats and everything else. Cost plus 10% there at the Big Pig. Be sure and see what they've got for you. The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum yesterday announced the ballot for the 2024 class's contemporary baseball era inductees. These are managers, umpires, and executives, as well as players retired for more than 15 seasons. This specific ballot deals with managers, executives, and umpires. And again, the 8-person ballot was announced yesterday and will be voted on during the winter meetings in early December here in Nashville. So should be some exciting news coming out of there anyway. The 8 candidates include former Toronto manager Cito Gaston, former Atlanta Braves second baseman and manager of the Mets, Reds, Orioles, Dodgers, and Nationals, Davey Johnson, ex-Pittsburgh, Florida, Colorado, and Detroit manager Jim Leland, along with Lou Piniella, who managed the Yankees, Reds, Mariners, Rays, and Cubs, and umpires Ed Montague and Joe West, along with longtime front office guy Hank Peters. Started with the St. Louis Browns, tells you how far back he goes, and was also with Cincinnati prior to joining the Athletics, Cleveland, and the Orioles. So that, one more. Bill White, former St. Louis Cardinals first baseman Bill White, an 8-time All-Star, 7-time Gold Glove winner, who later served for 6 seasons as president of the National League. During his tenure in that role, the National League expanded to include both the Florida Marlins and the Colorado Rockies, and later Major League Baseball consolidated the American and National Leagues under one administrative umbrella, basically putting himself out of a job. But congratulations to those folks. And again, the committee to select who will be going into the Baseball Hall of Fame next summer will meet in early December here in Nashville. So looking forward to that. Justin?
What's up, boss man?
What do I need to know? Is there anything else going on that I need to know about?
Let's check what is trending right now, because I'm sure there's something going on. The Jags Saints game last night. I mean, are they
we
real?
missed that in the rundown. Yeah.
I think the Jags are real, but also they should have scored a lot more points than they scored.
What was that final? I missed it.
31-24 Jacksonville, with a chance of New Orleans to take it back after a 4th down. After the Jacksonville Jaguars went forward on 4th down on the 47-yard line, running it out of shotgun. Well, actually, I want to ask you a question. So if you're trying to get half a yard, some say,
I know where you're going with this, but go ahead.
Why would you run a play with your running back and you in shotgun? One, you're not giving your running back any sort of like head start by handing it off to him. You're flat-footing giving to your running back to get 4 yards when you really only need inches. Why run it out of shotgun?
It's a mystery, Justin, that I have not come up with the answer to, and I've been asking that question for about 10 years. So it's a little mystifying. Maybe you and I are oversimplifying things, but if we are, we're not the only ones.
Right, exactly. I just don't see a play out of that formation that fools the defense. Like
for a half a yard.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a huge, I heard it on the radio this morning. I mean, the difference between, if you've ever been on a football field, between inches and a whole yard, it's ridiculous how, much of a difference that is. So if you need inches, yeah.
Why would the shortest, I always thought the shortest distance between 2 points was a straight line. So, I mean, I don't
Maybe
know.
we're crazy, like you said, but
maybe we are. But at any rate, breaking news here. Connor, and I guess his last name is Stallions, maybe? It's Stallions with only one L. Connor Stallions, we'll go with that, has been suspended with pay, according to Brett McMurphy on X/Twitter, in relation to the story that we were discussing yesterday of Michigan and some allegations of sign stealing. So someone has fallen on their sword in Ann Arbor. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I figured you knew it had to happen somehow. If they were going to fight it, they would have had to fight it to the death. So someone had to be the sacrificial lamb.
Absolutely, yeah. It happens that way sometimes. Those were our top stories. Again, they're brought to you by Piggly Wiggly over in Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and get over there for lunch. Their meat and 3 is solid. Trust me on this. Never steer you wrong when it comes to food. Hey, when we come back to the Lee Company studio here on Main Street Sports Today, we will be joined by our NBA expert, LANDEN SECREST, as the season looms next week. Want to get some thoughts from him on what he's looking for and maybe answer a couple of questions. Stay tuned.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as we come to you from the Lee Company studios remotely. I'm Maurice Patton, and as you can probably tell, Chris Yao is not here. So we are forging ahead through the Friday edition of the show, and we are joined by, as I said, our NBA expert, Landon SECREST, at Seco_sports on Twitter. And Landon, before we get going on NBA stuff, you are just branching further and further out into multimedia stardom. You have gotten a pretty nice assignment for the upcoming college basketball season. Tell folks where they'll be able to see you this winter. Landon, we can't hear you.
I will be featured on Belmont Basketball's ESPN Plus broadcast. We are very fortunate to have our own ESPN Plus streaming broadcast for both basketball teams, and I'll be serving as a sideline reporter for women's basketball this season and helping out with feature content on the men's side as well. So you'll see me a lot for Belmont basketball.
Man, so is there an upgraded wardrobe? Do you get a wardrobe allowance for that? How does that work?
I will have to be on point when it comes to wardrobe, for sure. We'll be pulling out the Craig Sager-esque fits, I hope.
Oh, there's a little something. If the Belmont basketball wasn't enough, checking in to see what Landon will be wearing will probably be worth the view. So looking forward to that. Happy for you, man. That's a huge assignment. And
thank you.
No, you're going to be great at it. So is it coming up on Christmas time for you? I mean, with the NBA getting ready to get started next week?
100%. Literally, I've always looked open to opening night, and next Tuesday is going to be a great day for me getting basketball back. I've been tuning in the preseason, but I'm cranking up a fantasy basketball league with my friends, so I just can't wait for opening night on Tuesday.
Who are you looking forward to in particular on opening night?
I'm really looking forward to the conversation between the Lakers and the Nuggets is not necessarily healthy. There's a little beef between two of the teams just because the Nuggets are obviously the defending NBA champions, and the Lakers have LeBron and AD, and that playoff matchup last year went in favor of the Nuggets. So that's going to be a sight to see. And then the nightcap is going to be Suns and Warriors, I believe, and Big Three in Phoenix is going to be something to see on the offensive end. And then the Warriors have Chris Paul, which I still can't really get my head around. So we'll see how that works out. So I'm just interested to see all the storylines on Tuesday.
And I guess if the beef between the Nuggets and the Lakers isn't enough, the Nuggets will be getting their rings that night.
Very true. Ring ceremony night too.
Yeah. Landon, as you look at this upcoming season, beefs aside, what are you kind of looking forward to? What are some storylines that kind of jump out at you?
I'm very interested. One of my friends is actually a San Antonio Spurs fan, so the Thunder is my favorite team. So seeing the Rookie of the Year battle between Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren is going to be interesting because Chet is technically considered a rookie. So that's going to be very interesting to see. That's the thing that I'm looking forward to. And then just the player movement, obviously, with Bradley Beal now in Phoenix, Dame in Milwaukee. We don't know what Harden's going to do in Philadelphia. And all just the player movement is really going to be a sight to see who fits where. And Ja's out for 25 games in Memphis. So it's going to be interesting to see like the standings and how the first few games or so goes in the NBA.
It doesn't sound like Harden's going to be doing anything in Philly.
That is very true. I can't wrap my head around that either. I'm not the biggest James Harden fan, but I would want to play with the MVP, Joel Embiid, but that's just me. I don't know where James Harden his head is currently, but that'll be interesting to see.
Well, it's funny, though, because, I mean, some people are satisfied with being a big fish in a small pond.
That is very true. And at this stage in Harden's career, I mean, we've obviously seen him put up the 30, 40, 50, even 60-point games. And when he was in Houston, we've seen him at that level of dominance. So what's his career goal now? Is it to chase a championship, or is it just to kind of sit back in the shadows and just play basketball? I mean, I don't really know. His play style has definitely changed, in my opinion. He's not that dominant. You can call on him for isolation scoring anymore, but we'll see how it works in this season. Hopefully, I would love to see him back with Embiid in Philly because I think they can be a top team in the East.
Talking about the East, I mean, did Milwaukee wrap up certainly the East and maybe the NBA by getting Dame to go with Giannis? Obviously Boston says no, but I mean, what does that do to the power structure in the East in particular?
Well, Milwaukee's definitely going to be able to score a lot of points. I mean, that's close to nearly 70 points with just Dame and Giannis alone in a game. But when I looked at the trade, I looked at, the Milwaukee Bucks, they lost Drew Holiday, which is one of the best two-way players in the league, and he was the point guard on the team. So that's going to be a change to see in terms of defense because, Dame is a smaller guard himself, and we know he can score, but can he defend? And the fact that Drew Holiday is now in Boston, who also added Kristaps Porzingis, they're looking for a big year out of Peyton Pritchard. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Milwaukee responds to a Boston team that's clearly trying to dodge and kind of counter everything that they're doing as well. So I think that's clearly going to be the 1-2 in the East, Boston, Milwaukee.
Who's behind them?
I think you surely can't discount a Miami team that's going to have a chip on their shoulder just because they did not get Dame. I'm looking for Philly up there. The Knicks, obviously, they're always in the mix. I don't know if you can count on them to be necessarily a top team in the East, but I think that's a good top four. And then the Atlantas, and you look at a team like a Brooklyn that's got Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges full-time this year. I think that'll be a very fun team to watch. I'm really high on Mikal Bridges. So it's going to be good to see him in a full season kind of as the lead person in Brooklyn.
Landon SECREST at Seco_sports joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, talking a little NBA in anticipation of that season getting cranked up on Tuesday night. You mentioned Miami, Landon. What if, and maybe it's not possible with an 82-game schedule, but what if you got playoff Jimmy for 82 games?
Playoff Jimmy for 82 games for the Miami Heat is the best scenario possible. And I really just think that if Jimmy would put forth all that effort, it'd be no contest in the East. I think the Heat would be clear-cut the best team. I mean, they have Hero now who's going to be motivated because he didn't get traded for Dame, and they've got Bam, and, they're a defensive team. And I think, the Heat culture is definitely something that should not be played with and messed with. And Eric Spoelstra is obviously one of the best coaches. So I think Miami with playoff Jimmy for 82 games, that's no doubt probably the best team in the East.
Shifting to the West, you mentioned Wembanyama and Chet, and it's interesting that those two kind of are being mentioned in the same breath because it looks like they're kind of similar players, just from a physical stature type presence to what they like to do. I mean, are they mirror images, or how do you see them not being similar?
I would say I would probably give the edge to Wembanyama as more of a complete player, just from I tuned into the Spurs versus Heat game in the preseason, and he was bringing the ball up the court, creating off the dribble. I mean, finishing alley-oop dunks, Euro stepping. I don't know if Chet's game is at that level, but Chet surely is no slouch. On the defensive end, he's definitely a high-key shot blocker, and he can create. I would probably say he can more so stretch the floor than Wemby. I would rely on his three-point shot a little bit more, but Wemby's for sure the more complete player, but that's definitely going to be a matchup. Just looking at the two towers, I mean, Victor is a legitimate 7'4", 7'5", because he makes Chet Holmgren look little, and Chet is 7'1".
Can both or either of them get away with playing long term in the NBA with their physical build?
I think when you look at surely the history of 7-footers, those 7-foot-plus players in the league, most of them don't last long because their knees are deteriorating or their feet are giving them problems. You look at a Kevin Durant, who's one of those taller players, has had Jones fractures in his feet. Yao Ming, career cut short by injuries. I mean, throwing it all the way back, a Sean Bradley, who was one of the tallest players. Definitely it's going to be something to monitor with them and their durability overall. I mean, Chet is going into probably a playoff team or a fringe playoff team in the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Wemby's definitely probably going to be a 1 or 2 option on the Spurs this year. So they're going to be called on a lot just to see how long their body lasts in kind of their first year of action.
In retrospect, did Denver sneak up on people, or, were there folks in the league that knew that this roster was capable of what they did last year?
I think a lot of people were just, as crazy it is to say, underestimating the power of Nikola Jokic and his impact on a game. I mean, impacting it at all three levels, on defense, three-point shooting. I mean, just leadership-wise, he's a complete player, and the Nuggets really did a good job of surrounding him with the right pieces that are complementary. I mean, you look at Aaron Gordon, who can play defense and can be a high flyer. Michael Porter can certainly knock down three-point shots. And just looking at that team, Jamal Murray, who is the second kind of fringe all-star on the team, and looking for him to have a big year too. But I think he steps his game up in the playoffs, and looking at that team, I feel like it was just complete. And teams really weren't expecting the Nuggets to kind of, hey, they're this good. We knew they were good, but they put it all together, and they were kind of just blowing teams away.
So what are the chances of are they the number one in the West?
I would say until another team proves otherwise, yes. I mean, you're looking at Phoenix, who certainly added firepower. You look at the Lakers, Clippers, fully healthy Clippers team is definitely up there. The Mavericks with Kyrie all season and Luka. But until somebody knocks Denver off the throne, I'm not going to put anyone up there. I need to see everybody else on court putting it together, because I don't know if anybody can stop Jokic. Surely nobody could last year in the playoffs. So
you talk about a healthy Clippers team. Those are, you don't hear that very often. Those two words, Clippers and healthy, together. And that's kind of been their biggest shortcoming, I guess.
That is very true. When you look at Kawhi Leonard, definitely a top 5 player. Maybe you could put him in the conversation as a top 3 player in the league if he's healthy. the way he impacts on defense and can give you buckets on the offensive end. Paul George is definitely one of the smoothest players in the league. That tandem as a duo, and then you add somebody like a Russell Westbrook in the mix, definitely look for them to have a big year if they're all healthy. I mean, that's a team that's living in the shadows of the Lakers currently because of all the injuries and the recent championship of the Lakers and LeBron being on the Lakers side, but they're definitely not anything to be played with if they're a healthy squad. And that's a big if they're a healthy squad. They have the coach, Tyronn Lue, but they need health on their side for once.
Where are the Lakers?
The Lakers, I would probably say I'd put them behind Denver, presumably behind Phoenix, probably somewhere in the 3 to 4 range in the West for sure.
The elephant in the room, obviously, and you mentioned it early on. Grizzlies will be without Ja Morant for the first 25 games of the season. What is their target? You know, how many games do they need to win before Ja gets back to have a chance to do whatever it is that they want to do over the full course of the season?
I think when you look at the Grizzlies, definitely in recent years without Ja, they've been one of the better teams without their superstar players. So I'd say they're probably not going to struggle to win games. It'll just be interesting to see with that cloud kind of hanging over their heads in terms of the suspension, how they perform. But I'd say they probably need to win about half to 2/3 of their games just to keep up with the pace to kind of elevate them once Ja gets back to where they're not trying to play catch up once he arrives. And also keep in mind, they're getting back a Steven Adams healthy this year and Brandon Clark that played a big role in their performance last year just because those two bigs were injured and Jaren Jackson had to play most of the minutes. And he's a defensive player of the year type player for sure, but hopefully they won't have to play catch up once Ja is actually back on the court.
You mentioned that there were times that they were, I guess, as successful without Ja as they were with him. Is the biggest thing for Memphis just being able to get reacclimated to having him once he is back?
I would say for sure, looking at the acquisition of a Marcus Smart type player, that's definitely going to help the locker room for sure. And on the court, I think it adds a lot of capabilities for them on offense and defense. But when you look at when Ja comes back, how is he going to fit with a Marcus Smart back on the court and a Desmond Bane? Is that going to be their 1, 2, and 3? If so, that's a fairly short 1, 2, and 3 competing in the West. When you look at like a Phoenix or even like a Lakers team that can kind of pack and get some length on you. So it'll be interesting to see. They can certainly shoot the 3, but kind of consistently on offense and defense, is that going to work? We'll have to see once Ja actually comes back.
Landon SECREST at Seco_sports joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, talking a little NBA. Landon, were you able to get some FaceTime with the Bulls when they were on campus a couple of weeks ago?
Yes. On the first day of training camp, I was very fortunate enough to go to the media availability little semi-press conference with Coach Billy Donovan. We got to speak to DeMar DeRozan as well, just to be in the environment, and Belmont having the opportunity to host the Chicago Bulls at our Crockett Center practice facility. It was just amazing for me to see that, and also just to have the opportunity to sit in on some of the media availability with NBA coach and one of the better NBA players. DeMar DeRozan certainly is no slouch. Just to see that, it was a great experience for me.
And I don't know if Coach Alexander or the Belmont team was able to be around them very much, but just the idea of having an NBA team on your campus, in your facility for a few days like that, that's kind of got to be a feather in your program's cap, I would think.
Right. It definitely helps with in the recruiting factor of convincing players to come to your school, and obviously just getting your players that exposure to see this is what it takes. This is what an NBA practice looks like. And just for the coaches to kind of have that insight for an NBA coaching staff as well. It's just a great opportunity. We've had the Pelicans here in the past and the Cleveland Cavaliers here in the past too. So it's just an all around great thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Pelicans, because I would think one of the storylines of this NBA season is, speaking of health, keeping Zion Williamson healthy for a whole year, or closer than what he's done to this point. You know, what are the Pelicans capable of if they can keep him on the floor?
I think the Pelicans are definitely in that 5, 6, 7 range. If they can get all three of those players on the court, including Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum on the court with Zion, I think they're definitely a team that cannot be slept on in the West. But you look at Zion, I mean, can he get on the court? Can he actually play alongside Brandon Ingram for long spans of time? We know what Brandon can bring to the table, was an all-star replacement in the past. But can Zion get on the court and kind of just produce like we expect him to?
Okay. Any other thoughts from you as we approach Tuesday, Christmas Day, for you?
I'm just excited to see, one, it's going to be a lot of points scored in the NBA this season. Keep an eye on the scoring title kind of race this year. Who's going to average the most points? Who's going to score the most points? Look for a lot of offense this year. I think it's going to be a big offensive year this year.
Anybody in particular that you're looking for to be individually in that mix? Anybody
I think Giannis definitely is going to be up there. And one of the three on the Suns, I mean, I don't know who it's going to be, but probably a KD or a Devin Booker is going to be up there, certainly. And then when you look at an Embiid, if he's without Harden, probably Embiid, depending on the Harden situation. And then LeBron, he might go for it. A healthy Anthony Davis, surely. Jokic could be up there if he really wanted to be. So I think it's just going to be a lot of points. Luka and Kyrie, for sure. It's going to be a lot of points scored this year in the NBA.
I'm looking at CBSSports.com, and their kind of look at the opening of the season next week. And one of the storylines that they've got here is the in-season tournament. Landon, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's good motivation for the players. You know, I'm an NBA diehard, so I always tune into the regular season, but it's kind of not interesting for a casual fan to just tune into a regular season game because most players mail it in. But the in-season tournament is going to provide players with something that's actually on the line, you know, more prize money. It's kind of randomized with the divisions and stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in this first year of the in-season tournament and kind of how players react to it, and do they go all in, and how does that factor into the regular season as a whole. And you look at the All-Star break and then finishing those April and March months of the year, how's it going to fare in there too? So that's going to be an interesting situation to monitor with the in-season tournament.
Great. Landon SECREST, you can follow him on Twitter or on X. It's still Twitter as far as we're concerned, but at @Seco_sports. And you can also see him on Belmont women's basketball telecast once the season gets started on ESPN Plus. Looking forward to that. Landon, appreciate you taking some time with us, man, and keep grinding.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mo.
All right. Hey, when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, we will be speaking with FISK Athletics Director Valencia Jordan. So come back to the Lee Company Studios when we get back.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org, or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It's the Friday edition, getting you ready for the weekend. I'm Maurice Patton. Justin Kulik has got us on the air and keeping us there, and that's always a good thing. And now, as we get deeper into the final show of the week, we catch up with new FISK Athletics Director, Valencia Jordan. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey,
can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, appreciate you taking some time with us today. I'm sure it's a pretty busy time for you as you are transitioning into your new role. Again, congratulations. And when you left as an athlete, did you ever see yourself coming back to this?
Probably not.
What?
But I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. What brought this about for you?
I would say destiny. It really. I think it's a matter of relationships and just being patient and having the faith to do the things that we were created to do. But without that connection to my former coach who was here at the time, she was Coach Harriet Kimbrough, who is now Dr. Harriet Hamilton. Mm-hmm. And so over the years, we've always kept in touch. And I think when she came to TSU as a professor and had an opportunity to really see me in my career in the profession, and not so much as the hot-headed athlete, it was a good opportunity so that when this position presented itself, that she could speak up. As they would say, you want those sponsors, those individuals who can say your name in the room when there are discussions about opportunity and doors being open. And so she placed the call. I really wasn't sure, to be honest, that I would get back to this arena, but I'm certainly delighted that she did encourage me to put my name in the hat, and I did and went through the process, and I'm just glad that through the interview and all the things aligned in my favor. And so 2 weeks in, here I am.
I've had the opportunity to be around Dr. Hamilton on various occasions, and when she encourages you to do something, you pretty well do it, don't you?
I just say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yes.
She is a force of nature. She truly is. And I can't imagine anybody better to have in your corner than her.
Oh, I mean, it's been amazing. We talk a lot in terms of leadership and the importance of having mentors and sponsors, those individuals who have the experience, who can pour into you. And she has been that on all fronts. And you know, whether it's giving advice to sharpen your skills, or just giving the encouragement to you know, to understand how things work. But I think just hearing how she saw me fitting here was beyond what in anything that I could think or imagine. And so as I listened to really to her take on why I should pursue this, it was convincing enough for me to say, absolutely. And so just knowing that I had her blessings and the endorsements, and that I knew for sure I'd have a true advocate on my side, who is well connected, that has made it, that has definitely made it worth whatever the challenges will be.
Former FISK volleyball player Valencia Jordan.
You know what? They put volleyball, but it's actually basketball.
Oh,
actually, yeah. You know what? I said could have been.
That's
but basketball was yeah.
Well, but you coached volleyball at TSU, right?
I coached volleyball and basketball. So so both sports are it's they're my thing. That's it.
So you were an athlete at FISK, but most of your coaching and administrative career has been at Tennessee State. You know, what are you finding in your transition back to a Division III environment?
It's been an interesting transition, but what I would say is competition is competition. And when I came to the first volleyball match a week or so ago, that settled the score for me. And just the excitement, the competitiveness of those young ladies. And so I'm trying to look at it through the lens of not comparing divisions. But what I see in this NAIA, Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, is that there are individuals, there are student athletes who are training hard, who are giving their all, there are coaches who are equipped and who are preparing themselves as though they were Division I NCAA.
I would imagine it's got to be an exciting time to be at FISK, actually, Coach, just from the standpoint that, you know, you're heading into the second season of the gymnastics program that, you know, drew national attention last year, had a lot of success last year. You've got a legend leading your men's basketball program in Kenny Anderson. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff going on over at FISK. How do you keep that momentum going and keep that train rolling?
I tell you, it's it's going to be. I'm still trying to find my way in making sure that I can assist all of those individuals in sustaining what they've started. I think that the gymnastics blew up so fast and so quick, in being on all the national stages that they were on. We're already looking into a big event coming, the first of the year, that I think will be great for everyone in the city. And I think that program itself has recruited on its own for who knows how many years. And Coach Tarver is doing a great job in making sure that they have what they need. I'm more excited, I would say, or equally excited about really working with Coach Kenny Anderson. As I told him, you are still the hidden gem in the city, but it's going to be my job to get you out there so that people can know that Kenny Anderson is in fact in the city and coaching at Fisk University. But I know that he and his guys are looking forward to having a great season. But I would say on the women's side, Coach Victoria Crawford came in as a new coach last year and was runner-up in the conference. And so, both, I would say she's the one that's chasing. She's the one that the conference is really like, oh my gosh, we have to contend with her. But it's just a great feeling to be around coaches who are and have been successful. And so just making sure that I am equipped to make whatever necessary moves to help them elevate what they're doing.
Newly named FISK's Athletics Director Valencia Jordan joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coach, as you step into this role and continue to get yourself acclimated, what goals do you have, short term, long term, in terms of what it is you're trying to get done?
I would say the short term is bringing a certain standard of doing things, making sure that consistently every program is hitting the mark of that standard, being able to convey that as we go out and represent this institution, what does that look like? And so really some things that you won't see as much on the court or on the field, but those things that over time will show in their production and in their terms of winning. But really just being more of a teacher in terms of leadership, but also one of my main goals and objectives is to put athletics in a light where the campus and the community embraces us, to know that we want their support, we need their support, and it's very critical to not only right now, it's critical to the future of all the things that we'll do. But I think down the road, it's more looking at the avenues of enhancing opportunities for the student athletes, and that's whether that's through facilities and making sure that everything is where it could or should be, so that when they come into practice or when they travel, they will know that they will feel special. I'm a huge advocate for student athlete well-being, and that piece of it is critically important to me. But just understanding that is an exciting time for FISK, having a newly appointed president and President Clark, and ironically, we both started on the same day. So it's just a great time to be a part of this institution, and especially athletics.
And again, you talk about making the athletes feel special, and I imagine that's particularly important to you as a former athlete on that campus.
It is, and it is. I think it's indicative of my relationship with Coach Hamilton. And if every student athlete could get what I got, is well worth it. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. Yes, you want to compete. You want to compete well. I was happy when I was here and had a couple of 30-point games. That was good. But none of that is more important than just having that bond with my coach over, some 40 years. And so that's just, it's just one of those stepping stones that really at the end of the day, when you hang your shoes up, that's when you really start to find out the quality of that experience.
Former FISK Lady Bulldog, Valencia Jordan, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as she transitions into her new role as athletics director at her alma mater. Coach, really appreciate you taking some time with us this afternoon, and wish you all the best and hope to catch up with you again here soon.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. When we come back here to the Lease Company studio on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, it'll be time for the top of the hour Titans update with Terry McCormick. So stay tuned for that here on the other side of this break.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Maurice Patton, and we are now joined by Terry McCormick, the Titan Insider, with the top of the hour Titans report, powered by Zen Sports. Terry, talk to me.
That's right, Mo. It is the Titan Insider Daily Report, and it's powered by Zen Sports, changing the bonus game for the better. Mo, going to throw some numbers out at you here since we're on a bye week with the Titans, and just kind of give you a little State of the Union address, so to speak.
Right.
The Titans have scored a grand total of 8 touchdowns this year. 8. You can count that on 2 hands.
In 6 games?
In 6 games.
Okay.
By contrast, the Miami Dolphins have scored 30. And 3 other teams have 20 or more.
Well, the Titans probably shouldn't compare themselves to Miami. I mean, Miami scored 70 in a game. Has Tennessee scored a 70 this year?
They're at 100. I think I looked it up. They're at 113, I believe, is what they've scored. So, you know, the 70 does kind of, I guess, kind of throw the average off just a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. But, you know, the point of that is the best teams in the NFL these days, you win with not only quarterback play, but you win with explosive plays and you win with weapons. And quite frankly, to me, other than fixing the offensive line, the biggest challenge that Rand Carthon faces this offseason is to add an element of speed somewhere on this offense beyond just Tajay Spears. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's uh, Will Levis or Malik Willis or Maurice Patton quarterbacking the team. If you don't have weapons that you can get the ball to, guys who can make people miss and hurt teams with explosive plays, you're in trouble in today's NFL. And it's a situation where the Titans just really, in my opinion, don't have enough of those guys. And it's probably a credit to the defense that they're playing. They're in as many games as they are in terms of playing it close. But I know the Titans went all offense in last year's draft. Uh, I see another scenario where they're going to have to go heavy offense again this year to try to remedy all the shortcomings. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah. You like you said, you've got to inject some speed in there somewhere. And again, Traylon Burks has been out for a pretty good portion of this season to this point. How much would his return theoretically help with that explosiveness?
I think it would help some, but Traylon's not really a burner, so to speak. He's really more of a, 4.5 type of guy. I mean, he may have, I don't know exactly what his 40 time was when he ran at his pro day or anything like that, but he wasn't, blowing people away with that. And that's not the be all end all in terms of a receiver making an impact. If you know how to run a route and create separation, that's just as valuable or more so than being able to run at a pace of a Tyreek Hill or somebody like that. I just think that the Titans have to find a way, and it will require kind of a shift in philosophy because they've always liked these big guys who are, 6'1", 6'2", weigh about 220, and are go up and make catches in traffic, grab contested balls, things like that. But sometimes you have to embrace something that's a little different than what you have. And I think that, a shifty guy that can play in the slot or, slip outside and run a go route, those sorts of things, I think it would help this offense a lot because not only would it loosen the box for the running back like Derrick Henry, but it would also create more underneath things for the guys that you have now at receiver, the Nick Westbrook-Akinas, the DeAndre Hopkinses, and Traylon Burks. To me, it's a glaring error that they did not address this offseason.
With that said, that's leads me to my next point. Do they even wait to the offseason? I mean, again, the trade deadline is coming up. We're going to talk to Ben Arthur in the next segment. But, this team has traditionally not necessarily been active at the trade deadline. But, I mean, do they make moves?
It's a good question. I think, some of it may be predicated on what happens against the Falcons. If they lose and fall to 2-5, they might be convinced that it's time to, sell a guy or two off and try to, recoup some draft capital, which I don't know that you're going to get a whole lot for anybody that they have because, we had this conversation earlier in the week about how you shouldn't trade Derrick Henry for a third or fourth round pick because he's more valuable to you than the 100th best player in the draft. So I don't know what you could get in return. As far as them being buyers, they really don't have a whole lot of draft capital to be given away to be buyers. And if they were going to be buyers and needing speed, needing help on the offensive line, There's not a lot of that out there available, although the Chiefs seem to be able to go back and get McCole Hardman from the Jets after he left as a free agent. You put a guy like that in. I mean, I know he's not the greatest hands guy in the world, but that blazing speed that he has sure comes in handy at times, or at least it did when Patrick Mahomes was throwing to him.
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen some receivers out there. Again, Van Jefferson went from the Rams to Atlanta. McCole Hardman, like you said, and it feels like if the Titans were going to make a move to try to shore something up, receiver is where it would be.
Yeah, because I mean, with the offensive line, you could do it, but it's very difficult. Those guys work as a unit. And if you're making a change at left tackle and going with Nicholas Petit-Ferrer over Andre Dillard, then you'd probably want him to work alongside of Skoronski and the tight end, be it Trayvon Wesco or Chikakonkwo, whoever may be on that side next to him. So bringing in an offensive lineman, yes, you could do it, but I don't know if you're going to get, anything a whole lot better than what you have. If you brought in a receiver, then he's got to learn your system. He's got to be able to give you something. I'd be surprised if they made a move, but I wouldn't rule it out.
There we go. Terry, tell us about Zen Sports.
Zen Sports is the new sports book in Tennessee. It's revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. With Zen Sports, your rewards are cash rewards. You bet with real money, and now you're rewarded with it too. Earn a whopping 5% cashback welcome bonus for your first 15 days when you sign up with code MAINSTREET, MAINST. Keep betting and keep earning every month after that, up to 3% cashback rewards on your betting volume. Best of all, earn cash commission on your referral bets with the Zen Sports Referral Rewards Program. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
You got that radio voice.
I do.
It's a good sound.
Thanks for radio, too.
As do we. And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
and we reach every main street in Middle Tennessee, Coach?
Yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you're on Main Street and you are moving,
you gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
I'm glad someone...
It's the biggest racing show of the year, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. 6 fast-paced divisions of racing on the quarter-mile Friday night, pole qualifying and 3 big feature events Saturday night, and the Curb Records Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers All-American 400 on Sunday afternoon. Racing starts at 6:30 Friday, 5 o'clock Saturday, and 1 o'clock Sunday. Tickets available at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.racing or at the gate on race day. It's the 39th All-American 400 weekend, Friday through Sunday, November 3rd through 5th. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back to the Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Maurice Patton. Chris Yao is somewhere in the southeast. That's about all I can tell you. But at any rate, as promised in the last segment, we are now joined by Ben Arthur of Fox Sports. Ben, good Friday.
How's it going, Mo?
It's going well. How about you?
Good. Hanging in there, ready for the weekend. It's looking nice here in Nashville. So,
yeah, it is. It looks good. I'm gonna get out. You won't be getting out to any high school football tonight, I don't imagine. I will be, but yeah, it's a great way to get the weekend started. So I'm gonna be getting out tonight and going from there. Hey, Ben, when was just talking to Terry McCormick. Trade deadline coming up on Halloween, so we're about a week and a half away from that. Uh, the Tennessee Titans traditionally have not necessarily been active at the deadline. Now, obviously, it's a different regime now, but do you see them doing anything between now and then? And who else across the AFC South in particular do you see that might be looking at making a move leading up to the deadline?
Yeah, Mo, I think historically, like we've known the Titans to not do much, right? They've usually sat pat for the most part. And and just kind of knowing Vrabel, I think a lot of people want this team to kind of start blowing up, right? In terms of uh, shipping out some of these older guys, whether it be Hopkins or Derrick Henry or Kevin Byard or whoever has value to get draft picks for the future, right? But I don't know, just a part of me just doesn't think Mike Vrabel wants to think like that in what we're still like kind of early, late October. I just feel like Mike Vrabel doesn't want to give up on this season. And we saw, I mean, it's really only the Jags probably have a couple game lead at this point. I mean, it's not totally out of the question for them to contend if they could figure some things out. And certainly we know what happened last year with the Jags seemingly just having maybe looking like they're just going to have another bad year. And then all of a sudden they go on that run and then setting up that week 18 game against the Titans where the Jags ultimately won. And so just knowing Vrabel from having covered him for a few years now, I just don't think he's wired that way. And so for that reason, I could see them standing pat. I could maybe see a move or two to improve the team. If you ask me, I think they should start to blow it up. I mean, I just don't think this is going anywhere. I think we've kind of maxed out what this iteration of the Titans can be. And you look at the contract situation of some of these guys and the 2024 draft outlook not looking necessarily great for Tennessee right now. You think of what they could net by starting to part ways with these guys. So that's what I think they should do. But obviously, I'm not the one making those moves. That's Mike and Rand. So, but yeah, I think just a part of me says that the Titans are just not going to do anything, and the fan base is going to get all upset. But it's just kind of historically what we've known the Titans to be.
Hey, yeah. As you look across the rest of the division, do you see any obvious moves or anything that jumps out at you as far as these other three teams in the South go?
I think the one team I think could make moves is Jacksonville, just because, I mean, they're starting to look like a legitimate contender in the AFC, in my opinion. I mean, they're 5-2 now, 4-game winning streak. They're starting to kind of get closer to what this preseason hype labeled them as, and you could see them start to kind of figure it out. They've won 4 games in the last 19 days. I mean, this is a resilient team and a really, really good defense and super talented offense that still hasn't quite put it all together. And they've had 3 games of over 30 plus points. And so in terms of making a move to like get over the hump, maybe they add a pass rusher. I don't know that they could. I think they could be a team that we see make a move to like improve the team. But yeah, I think in terms of the AFC South, they're the only team I feel really confident about maybe making a move. I mean, one part of me wants to say Houston, but because they're still kind of in rebuild mode, even though they're a lot better than I think than everyone thought they would be. I don't think they would be willing to part ways with some of the draft capital they have in order to like try to make a run this year. I just don't see that as being super realistic. So I think they stand pat. And then the Colts, I mean, they're a team that that's probably going to stand pat too. They don't look like they're going to be very competitive, especially with knowing Anthony Richardson isn't going to be in the mix for the rest of the season. And so, yeah, Jacksonville is probably the team I feel like should make a move just because they're in that contention mix. And then again, I think the Titans should be sellers, but they probably won't be. So that's kind of how I would view the outlook in the division heading into Halloween.
From a player standpoint, who do you think moves between now and the deadline?
With the Titans?
No. Just generally.
Generally, man, there's a lot of guys. I mean, you look at Alvin Kamara potentially. I mean, with the way the Saints are going, I mean, I don't know. Saints, their season is not going very well. Derek Carr has that situation has been a mess considering they thought he would be the guy to kind of get them over the hump. And so you think they could start to be sellers, right? So that's why I say Kamara. I don't know how legitimate of a chance that is, but I think that's certainly in the realm of possibility. You look at the Broncos for sure as being sellers. You look at a guy like Jerry Jeudy, whose name has been in the mix just with the way Denver's season has gone and the disappointment around Russell Wilson and that team. So Jerry Jeudy, man, I'm trying to think. Jerry Jeudy is the name I'm thinking about. The Panthers certainly have some guys who could be shipped off too, right? They're off to their worst start since 98 or 99. They're 0-6 with Bryce Young to this point. I think it was who is it? JC Horn. I'm not sure. I know a couple guys in Carolina have kind of been in the mix to possibly be moved. Yeah, you kind of put me on the spot, but
and I didn't mean to. My bad. Threw it a little threw the net a little wider than I meant to. But hey, Davante Adams in particular has been making some noise here over the past few days about something needing to change in Vegas. Do you think anything changes in Vegas?
In terms of them, moving him, or in terms of their offense changing?
No, in terms of them moving him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something they have to consider, right? I mean, the Raiders are kind of another one of those teams that, have a lot of guys who you would expect to, with the way they're built, right? They're kind of built to win now. When you think of Crosby, you think of Josh Jacobs, you think of Davante Adams. You have a kind of a veteran bridge type, whatever, quarterback in Jimmy G, but it's just not going well with Josh McDaniels. And so yeah, I mean that's certainly, I think, in the cards. They did give up a lot to get him, and they are paying him a lot of money, and he is still extremely effective. And I think when he does get the ball, as much as a guy of his talent warrants, he can lift your team. But just with the way things are going, I mean, you certainly have to put that into the ether of possibilities. I don't know if that will actually happen. I'm not as versed with kind of what's going on in Las Vegas, but he's a guy that's going to garner interest just because of where the Raiders are headed. And there are a lot of teams that are looking to get over the hump. Wide receivers are always at a premium. So I guess we'll kind of have to wait and see.
That's great. Ben Arthur of Fox Sports joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ben, appreciate your time, man. We'll be catching up with you.
Sounds good, Mo. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Hey, when we come back, it's time to pick some college football games. Stay tuned.
T-Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Boo! I'm back.
Just when you thought it was safe. Yeah. Welcome back to the Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are in the Lee Company studio, and as you can probably tell, this is pre-taped. because Chris is somewhere at this moment. Chris is probably somewhere between here and
now I know why you said boo.
Georgia.
That's funny. That's not going to be. That's
Yeah,
good,
there you go. So I will probably at this point tomorrow, I will likely be somewhere between Birmingham and Ackworth, Georgia.
Okay,
It's actually really clever, sir.
But again, we are pre-taping because we wouldn't want Chris to miss our college football pick'ems.
Yeah, I don't need a 0 week. That'd be bad, especially after I caught up
on purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be like somebody on our high school pick'ems and just
not pick,
just opt to not pick. Yeah. Now, last week,
lay it on me, Mo.
You were 7-3, 8-3 with the bonus pick of UT over Texas A&M. Your only misses were our misses, because Georgia did not cover against Vanderbilt.
What are you doing, Georgia?
Unreal.
Yeah, right. Justin, our blind faith in Nick Saban was not well-founded, as Alabama did not cover against Arkansas.
I wish I could say I'm not going to do the exact same thing next time.
I actually picked Arkansas on that one.
You did. You, however, also picked Washington State along with Justin to cover against Arizona.
They not only did not cover, they got trounced.
44-6.
They were favored.
I did pick Arizona.
They were favored.
Yeah. So again, Justin was 7-3, 8-3 with the bonus pick. Chris was 7-3, missing on Georgia. Louisville, and the aforementioned Cougars.
But I did get Tennessee right.
You did get Tennessee right. So you were 7-3/8-3. I was 6-4/7-4 with the bonus pick. I missed Georgia, Alabama, as we mentioned. Washington, which won but did not cover.
Won by field goal.
The dang hook.
Gotcha.
The hook got me. Louisville. Yeah, so those were my four misses.
You know, fellas, good week all around.
It was a good week all around, absolutely. And I did not go back and total up, but yeah,
that's all right.
Above 500, all of us.
All I know is that you and I are tied because I was 2.
No, you were 2 back.
Oh,
so now you are only 1 back.
Okay, I thought I was 1. Okay.
What about the boy?
Oh,
You're in the lead.
You're in the lead, sir.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
I tinker a lot with my fantasy team, and I've been told like my whole thing in life by my father that I'd never leave well enough alone. So I don't give these a lot of thought, and maybe that's the ticket.
there you go. There you go. Don't overanalyze. Don't think it'll only hurt the team.
It only hurts the team. That's right.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, let's get into them.
let's shall.
All right. We start at 11 a.m. on Fox. Big noon kickoff. At the
Big noon kickoff at 11 a.m.
Well, it's 11 a.m. for us. Big noon for Eastern time zone.
It'll be big noon for you.
It will be big noon for me. So there's that. Number 3, Ohio State. At the Shoe. At home. 4.5-point favorites against the Nittany Lions of Pennsylvania State.
Only 4.5?
Listen, man, if you listen to us, you think Penn State's going to win this game.
Honestly, I'm a big – so I went through this really, really short, very, very short Vanderbilt fan phase when James Franklin was the coach. And so
if you were going to be one, that was the time to be it.
Exactly right. And it was the very, very, very minuscule, small window was during the time he left, and we didn't like him. And so I just always have that in the back of my mind. But 4.5, I feel like it's just not enough points to pick. So I'm just kidding. Is it my turn?
It is your
Go
turn.
ahead. You're winning, man.
I'll go Ohio State.
You are going Ohio State. Ohio State is favored by 4.5. I am picking Penn State. You know, I picked Penn State at the beginning of the year to win the Big Ten. And if they're going to win the Big Ten, they have to win this ball game.
That's right.
So I'm picking Penn State.
I'm with you. I got the Lions of the Nittany variety.
What is a Nittany?
Please explain. Please. If we have time.
I think it's got something to do with the Nittany Valley that Penn State is located, that State College is located in. But I'm not entirely sure.
I can tell you the intensive English communication program at Penn State says that the history is unclear. Many say it comes from a Native American word meaning single mountain. Others say it is named after a legendary Native American woman said to be from this area. No matter the origin, you'll see the name all over town.
No doubt.
You know, that was a good guess, Mo. I mean, you got one of the theories. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well,
Happy Valley is called Mountain. One of the mountains is called Mount Nittany.
Mount Nittany. Okay.
So there you go.
Enough of that.
Also at 11 a.m.,
Mm-hmm.
number 6, OU, Oklahoma, at home against UCF. The Fighting Gus Malzahn's John Rice Plumlee is allegedly back full-time as the quarterback for the Golden Knights. 19.5 points is the line in favor of the Sooners. JK.
Man, I know you did that Oklahoma hype video.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I mean, it was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to go with them.
You're going to go with Oklahoma?
I am. Just strictly because they're a social media team.
Yeah. Give me Gus.
Mm-mm.
I'm on it. Matter of fact, I'm driving the Gus bus.
You are on the Gus bus, huh?
I'm opening the door and asking for some change.
Okay, so here's the deal. Little known fact, or much known fact, little discussed. Oklahoma's quarterback
is former UCF
quarterback Dylan Gabriel. I think he's going to be a little fired up. I think Central Florida.
How many defensive linemen are going to want to get a shot off on him because they never got to in practice? That's the real question.
Wanting to get a shot off on him is one
thing. Being able to, yeah. I mean, you may play a little harder. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm just not sure that Central Florida is necessarily going to be ready for the environment that is Norman, Oklahoma. I'm taking the Sooners in this one.
All right. Here it is. One part of the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Air Force, number 22 in the country and undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons head to Annapolis, where the midshipmen of Navy await as home dogs at 9.5 points. Justin?
How did Navy do last week?
I don't know. How did Navy do last week? I don't even know. I know nothing about Navy other than that Jackson Campbell plays there.
They're not very good.
They won 14-0,
Who'd
but
they beat?
they beat Charlotte. And
Like I said,
Biff not having a great year.
Biff Poggi.
Biff
was miffed at their media day, and I think he's probably been miffed ever since.
Yeah, they're 1-5 on these.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, their 3 wins are over Wagner, 24-0, North Texas, 27-24, and Charlotte, 14-0.
And Memphis by
They lost to Memphis by 4.
I knows, yeah. They barely got beat by Notre Dame that first game, 42-3.
Yeah, 42-3. They just missed it. So I mean, Air Force has been a dominating.
Have they? Okay, because I remember it was one of the military branches. Let's go. I'm gonna go Air Force. I mean, I feel like it's a toss up, probably because it's a huge rivalry, but I'll go Air Force.
I will tell you, it's not a toss up.
Really?
Yeah, the trip across the country maybe has something to do with it, and playing at noon local time in Annapolis.
Which is what, 10-9 in Colorado Springs?
Yeah, 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to matter.
They're military. It doesn't matter. They might just stay up all night.
Yeah. Air Force is going to win this game by 10 points
at least.
Okay. That one's on CBS if you want to watch it.
Just right.
And then following that game, you got Air Force, right?
I do have Air Force.
All right. That's what I thought. Following that game at 2:30 will be the tusked pachyderms from Tuscaloosa and the Vol Navy traveling down the Tennessee River. Should be fun. Number 17.
Get there, can you?
Yes.
How close can you get?
You go down. You go to the Black Warrior. So you can take the Tennessee River to the Black Warrior.
Okay, but how close can you get?
The river that separates Northport and yeah, it's close.
In Tuscaloosa. Okay,
it's close. Like you could walk.
Wow, that's interesting. I wonder how many people will do that.
Probably not many.
Yeah,
but
that's unfortunate.
Tennessee, 9.5 point dogs to the Tide. 68% of the general public on the Vols. And you know what that would mean to some people.
At least one, yeah.
So
what are you going to do?
Justin, what are you going to do?
I kind of sometimes you inspire me. So
all right, I will go. And here's all right. We have not talked about this in much length, and
we've listened to other people.
I did not wear any clothes underneath this to take off today because
we're all really
anniversary of that.
Yeah, that didn't go so well. It wasn't very smooth.
No, it wasn't.
TV.
I think that this game is one. I think the game of football as a whole is won in the trenches, and I think Tennessee's defensive front seven is so much better than Alabama's offensive line, and Jalen Milroe has yet to prove that he can escape pressure. He is more likely to run into pressure than to escape it. And therefore, I think Tennessee wins this game
by 50.
Period. I'm not going Vols by 50 or nothing. Right. I think it's a 2-touchdown game. I think Tennessee can win this game by 2 touchdowns.
I think Tennessee's run game can win this game, but when you talk about the trenches, I am reminded that Ollie Lane picked up like 3 penalties last week against Texas A&M just for no good reason.
No good reason. That guy's got to clean it up.
And so, I mean, you've got Cooper Mays back, but as long as who's behind him?
Whoever it is needs to
figure it out and start
They
playing.
need to figure it out and figure out a way to get on the field to get him off. But
hopefully he fixes those mistakes this week.
I'm picking Tennessee to certainly cover 9.5 despite Ollie Lane.
All right.
So
I'm gonna go. Hearing both of y'all go, it's very convincing. So I'm gonna go Vols as well.
don't follow us
Well, I
as
just think
those scared straight shows used to say.
That's
Yeah.
right.
For some reason, I compare it to Vrabel and Belichick. I don't know why, but Heupel and Saban. So either Saban's like really mad and he's gonna show it, or he still can't really figure out Heupel. So it's either one of those.
I think it's a defensive thing. I think their offensive line is just putrid.
I feel you.
And
Could be
that's where I don't think Alabama's going to score very easily. Is the point? Number 8, Texas, and the burnt orange Longhorns travel to an old rival. Maybe the last time they play this, first time they've played in 22 years. So they go to Houston to take on the Crimson Cougars. The Cougars are 22.5-point underdogs, but this one means a lot to the city of Houston and the university. So I ask you, Justin, do the Longhorns cover 22.5 points?
I'm going to say, yeah. I think I've rode with Texas all year, so I'm going to keep doing it. But I do think it's going to be an interesting game. Maybe, but then it could be a blowout. So
I think Houston's terrible. And that's just, I know they just beat West Virginia, but I don't think West Virginia is that good. If you look at West Virginia's schedule, their record is a little deceiving. I don't think Houston can cover it. I just don't. And here's the thing. I think Texas is in a situation where they've lost to Oklahoma. They, number 8 in the country. They feel like they might need some style points to, if they win, even if they win the Big 12, they might need some. So I'm going to say they're going to get some tomorrow, 3:00 on Fox.
I wonder if Houston unloaded the wagon against West Virginia in that 41-39 victory. And I'm not sure they can get back up again to cover more than 3 touchdowns against what's supposed to be a pretty good Texas team.
And they're coming off an off week after the Red River rivalry. I mean, that was a tough loss. They've had a lot of time to stew and steam
and marinate
Yeah. I just don't think it's a good place for the Cougars to be.
I don't think it's a very good place for the Cougars to be, but this one's kind of like I said a few weeks ago. Steve Sarkisian, I'm watching you. So,
who you got?
I got Texas.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take that break.
Mm-hmm.
We've done 5.
We have.
We've got 5 more to go. I don't even know if we've got a bonus game this week. I'll have to look and see if we can find one. So stick around. More Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
We're back, and then we've got 5 more games to pick, plus a bonus game. I found one. It's going to be exciting. Looking forward to it. But we've got 5 more games to pick, Mo. We'll start in the ACC, where the CW Network will be hosting this one at 5:30 Central Time in Chapel Hill. The number 10 Tar Heels hosting the Virginia Cavaliers. The line 23.5 in favor of the Tar Heels. Justin?
Let's go with the powder blue homies.
23.5 is a lot of points.
That is actually.
23.5 is a lot of points, but I don't think Virginia is very good.
I don't think Virginia's very good, and I think Drake May is in the middle of a Heisman race. So I'm going to go with the Tar Heels as well.
Same.
And Tez Walker will want to get all he can get.
Well, he's
got to
making
make
up
up
for lost
He's
time.
making up for lost time, exactly.
Yeah.
So, oh, man. All right. Here it is. Number 2, Michigan at Michigan State, with all the things surrounding this program.
Well, with all the things surrounding both these programs,
Exactly.
I mean, did they get a? Were they able to get a camera guy over there to Michigan in time? Because if not, then I don't know if they'll know the plays.
That's a fair question.
Well, I think that's kind of how this ended up. I think Michigan State is the one who may have
said, "Hey, y'all might want to take a look at."
By the way, did you? And I haven't.
Where'd you say this game was?
It's in East Lansing.
Okay.
There is a video of Greg Schiano halftime interview where he alludes
to this.
To here, let's see if I can.
The second half. Well, there's some stuff going on out there, so we just got to slow it down a little bit. There's some things going on that aren't right as well, so we'll talk about how to handle it.
Does Michigan defense keeping Gavin Wimsatt in this passing game?
That actually sounded so good, like when you put it up to the microphone.
Greg Schiano knew. I'm just saying.
If it had to happen to somebody.
Yeah,
you know.
So anyway, Michigan's a 24.5 point favorite over Michigan State. Whose scandal is the more problematic?
Debilitating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's more problematic? I don't know. 24.5 is a lot of points. I'm gonna have to go Spartans.
I'm going to go Michigan. I think they got one more game in them before they start crumbling the program.
They have certainly been absolutely destroying opponents to this point. But now we know why, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Michigan State has spent all of the last 2 days fixing signals.
They said, "Hey, who's that guy with that camera?" He starts running away.
and so Michigan State has spent the last 2 days fixing signals. Michigan has spent the last 2 days being pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
And preparing for Michigan State.
I'm taking Michigan.
All right. Michigan State's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
ABC 6:30. This one is going to be fun, folks. Number 4, Florida State welcomes the number 16 Blue Devils of Duke. Yeah, buddy. 14.5 points, though, in favor of the Seminoles.
It says upset city written all over it.
You know, Duke broke onto the national scene in a nationally televised game over Labor Day weekend when they throttled Clemson. They might be ready to grab the spotlight yet again. I'm taking Duke to cover.
I'm riding. Let's go, Mo.
Here's my problem with Duke. Riley Leonard has thrown for less than 1,000 yards, which I don't know. I mean, I assume he's played in every game.
I don't know necessarily who he has to throw it to.
Well,
What's he run for?
He's got one guy that he throws it to a lot.
Well,
and that is Jalen Calhoun, who's caught 24 passes for 368 yards. Leonard's only thrown for 912 and 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Jordan Waters is the leading rusher for Duke. He's ran for 9 touchdowns. When he touches it, things happen. 426 yards on just 65 carries. That's over 6.5 yards a carry. So I think this is going to be Duke's going to try to play ball control. Duke's going to try to find a way to keep it close late and give themselves a chance, and that's why they cover 14.5.
So you got Duke as well to cover?
I do.
Now, the devil's advocate to that is Florida State can strike quick with Jordan Travis. But yeah, I like Duke to cover. I mean, if it was straight up, I would be taking the Seminoles.
All right. Down in the Bayou, where we were born on the Bayou. Camouflage, end zones and all for the Bayou Bengals in honor of their opponent.
Did you see, I don't know who their opponent is, but did you see earlier this week that the Associated Press named Jaden Daniels the halfway Heisman?
I saw, yeah, I think I did see that, which I think is pretty interesting.
And I think that's interesting with the quarterbacks that we're seeing across the country. Looking at you, Michael Penix Jr.
Well, and I voted in a Twitter poll earlier that Michael Penix had 67% of the vote of 4 different people. 67%.
Of Penix, Nix, who else?
I don't think Nix was in it.
Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams, Jaden
Drake
Daniels, and maybe Drake May. But Penix was
far and away
the favorite in that one. So
yeah.
I don't know. 19th ranked LSU, they have camouflage end zones in honor of their opponent, the Army Black Knights.
Oh, goodness.
Can LSU score 30.5 points in the time that they will have the football?
Well, I mean, if you got the halfway Heisman, you should be able to.
You can see it at 6:30 on SEC Network.
The line is 30.5.
If they don't beat Army by 30.5 at night in Baton Rouge, those fans might mutiny.
Well,
hey, if that was a team, if you're going to mutiny, that'd be a bad team to do it against.
That's true.
The Army.
Army has not lost. They're 2-5 on the year.
They've not lost by 30.5.
I was close. Their 4 losses were by 40 points total.
Ooh.
It was
But who are they to, though?
Louisiana Monroe, Syracuse, Boston College, and Troy, who shut them out last week. They did, however, beat UTSA. Yeah. So if that tells you anything about Conference USA.
Do we think LSU is
or not? I mean AAC.
Won't take it serious? Because if not, then I don't know if they'll cover that.
I think LSU covers.
I don't think LSU and I just went blank on the coach's name,
Brian Kelly.
Yes. I don't think they can afford to not win this game by 30.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's on a hot seat or anything like that, but I do think that they have underachieved a little bit this season. And I think when they get a chance to bludgeon somebody like an Army team that's 2-4 with a loss to Louisiana Monroe.
Here's the problem, though, man. Their defense is so bad. Their offense can score, but their defense is so bad.
But it's Army.
I know.
Army's wins are over Delaware State, and like you said, they won 37-29 at Texas San Antonio. I'm taking LSU, but again, Brian Kelly, I'm watching. Who y'all got?
I got LSU too.
I got LSU, but I kind of understand what you're saying, Chris. Like, really, if you're our coach at LSU, you're on the hot seat regardless. Like, if you don't blow,
if that's not the truest statement that we've heard on the show.
You're not wrong.
That may be the most true statement we've ever heard on the show.
From game to game, you're on the hot seat.
Win by a little bit,
win a natty, still on the hot seat.
Exactly.
Hello.
No matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. What have you done for me lately?
Insanity. Folks, our final of the 10 Pac-12 After Dark.
Never fails.
Never fails. 9:30 Central Time. 7:30 out yonder. On FS1, number 5, Washington Huskies and Michael Penix Jr. 28.5-point favorites over Arizona State.
Where?
In Washington.
Didn't Arizona State screw us over last week?
No, Arizona screwed y'all over last week.
I didn't lose.
Y'all lost. Exactly. Arizona State at Washington. And how much?
28.5.
Arizona State's not very good.
God, I love college spreads so much. I'm gonna go Washington Huskies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Pac-12 After Dark. Give me the Sun Devils.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Listen, man, I took USC to beat them by like, I want to say 28, and they only won by 14. So, look, I don't think they're very good. I think Washington's going to win the game, but I think it's probably going to be 28 points.
Well, I think Washington's better than USC for one thing.
Yeah, but it's Pac-12 After Dark, man.
Well, I'm going with the Purple Rain to cover. So, what's your bonus game?
It is those USC Trojans in the Coliseum hosting the Utes of Utah. 14th ranked Utah comes into Memorial Coliseum as a 7-point underdog. USC favored at home.
7 even? No hook?
7 even.
That's bizarre.
Well, no, the pick'em always has a hook because you have to have a win or loss. You can't push.
Gotcha.
This is an actual line from Caesar Sportsbook.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
I'm going with my cousin Vinny.
The Utes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
These two Utes. I'm sorry. What'd you say? Did you say?
Yeah. Utah always seems to find a way to win this stupid game. Of course, they've had a different quarterback the last couple of times. So.
Is Dude not back?
No, I don't. Cam
Rising
Rising
is not back?
At this point, I'm just assuming Cam Rising is not playing. So, it's Nate Johnson or nobody. Nate Johnson has thrown for 499 yards this year. to Caleb Williams' 2,000. Caleb Williams has thrown more interceptions than Nate Johnson has touchdowns, though. If that helps you. It doesn't, I'm sure. I mean, they don't move the ball. But here's the thing. USC gives up 400 yards a game on defense. 400.
Okay, so according to a story on The Athletic from 10 days ago, what was initially believed to be just a torn ACL in the 23 Rose Bowl turned out to be a torn ACL, MCL,
and
meniscus, and MPFL, a ligament that helps stabilize the kneecap.
So he lost it all.
Goodness gracious.
Just don't play, son.
Just concentrate on being able to walk when you're 30. At any rate, I'm taking USC to cover a touchdown.
No, I got Utah.
All right.
That's it. Those are your 11 games, 10 in a bonus, and that's it for this week's show, man.
Well, have fun at your wedding. I'm going to go cover some high school football tonight. Again,